welcome in. My name is Matt. I'm one of the members here of the cardiac rehab facility of Marin Health. I'm an exercise physiologist, and what the goal of today is taking you through a full exercise session. We have a 3-part video series demonstrating how to do a basic warm-up, a basic strength training routine, and some ground-based exercises. Those are meant to be more on the instructional side of learning how to do these basic movements, the things to consider, equipment to use. Today, we're actually going to go through an 11 exercise session. We're going to do intervals. I'll show you how to set that up on the computer. Free to use a stopwatch, follow along with a wall clock if you have one. Nonetheless, there will be some instructions of this video. However, this is maybe for one of our patients that missed a session and wants to be able to do something at home. This is for maybe a staff member, an employee who's looking into how to exercise or really having an understanding of how we implement strength training as a cardiac rehab staff. We're going to start with a basic warm-up. It'll take several minutes, and altogether this session will be done in 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most. This is all going to be scalable. I'm going to show you different regressions, progressions of these movement patterns that we're going to focus on today to make this accessible for all people regardless of fitness level. Now, what I want to do is get started with our warm-up. The first movement we're going to do, very simple. We're going to reach behind the back, interlocking those fingers, opening up the posture. We're just going to take some big deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, gently rocking side to side, just opening up the chest, opening up the lungs, trying to alleviate some of the tension we have already built up throughout the day. Good, just gently rocking side to side. We can stay here 10, 15 seconds, frankly, as long as you need to. Keeping the jaw relaxed, dropping the chin, look up to the ceiling. Good, and you can release the hands. Next, we're gonna sweep the hamstring. One foot will be kicked out in front of the other, pulling the toe up to the shin, hands resting on the legs. You'll take a big breath, exhale, sink down as low as you can. If you can get to the floor, great. If not, go as far as you can. Then you're gonna switch your leg. Do the same thing. Take a breath in, exhale, sink to the floor. And we're just gonna go nice and easy back and forth. Down to the floor, keeping that toe up high, letting that back bend. And I'll show you a couple from the side. Again, we're just bringing the toe up, sweeping down, the front leg stays straight, back leg can be bent just a little bit, alternating back and forth. Very good. We'll just go a couple more times on each side. Last two. And good. Then we can come back up nice and tall. The next in our series, we're going to do a cross crawl. This is a march in place. The higher you bring your leg up, the less stable you are, so be mindful of that. Don't want anybody falling over here. So we're gonna start, hand will go across the body, the opposite leg will rise straight up. Tap the knee, reset. And again, if you're feeling really good, bring that leg as high as you can. If not, be down nice and low. Be stable, be confident with every step that you take. And again, we're not going anywhere. We're just staying in place, find a rhythm. Let that foot be silent on contact as it returns back to the floor. We're doing this for maybe another 10 seconds. Always under control. We're not in a hurry. The point of this is not to go fast. It's to have full control of the body while we're up on one leg. Good. Now, we're going to do a body weight squat. And if you're limited with range of motion, knee pain, hip pain, whatever it might be, you're just generally unstable or not confident with the squat, you're more than welcome to grab a chair, bring it over to you, and simply sit down and stand back up. A very simple sit to stand exercise we use. However, for the squat, we'll set the feet just outside of hip width. Make sure you have good balance in the middle of your foot. Weight will slightly be on the outside of your shoe. I like hands out in front just for stability, but you'll sit down as low as you feel comfortable and stand up. Not in a hurry, still trying to warm up. We'll just continuously move down and up, letting the knees bend, the hips, the ankles, all of that opening up. Very good. And we'll just continue to move, not in a hurry. As long as the balance is in the middle of the foot, you're not feeling like the feet are caving in, you're not falling to your heels or your toes, everything else up the chain will figure itself out. All right, good. The last movement in our warm-up series is a bodyweight good morning or a hinge. I'll show you a front and a side profile, starting hands on the hips, or if you can, interlocking the hands behind the back. That's just to reinforce the posture through the chest, because when we do this, we don't want to roll forward or be excessively extended. Squeeze the butt, hinge at the hips, stand back up, practicing like we're picking something up off the floor. Push back, big stretch in the back of the legs, squeeze the glutes at the top. Not in a hurry. Good, and a couple from the side just so you can see a different perspective. Again, nice flat back, pushing back into the hips, standing up nice and tall. Control your breathing. Good, and we'll stop there. The very last thing we'll do, just to warm up the upper body a little bit, we're gonna do a push, pull, reach to the ceiling. Feet underneath you, hands chambered at the shoulders. Push the hands away, create tension in the chest. Pull back, squeeze those back muscles. Rotate the hands to the ceiling, reach. Pull back down, rotate, push. Pull and reach. Face and neck stays relaxed. Jaw stays relaxed. Good movement through the shoulders. Going as far as you can at each point of this movement. Fingers relaxed. We'll go one more time, all the way back up. There, and to the start. Very good. At this point, if you need to grab some water, feel free to pause the video. We're gonna get into the bulk of our exercises now. We have 11 of them. I have some different equipment lined up on the floor. Kettlebells, different types of resistance bands, dumbbells, and a yoga mat. This is all built for you to need as little equipment as possible, and just because you don't have the specific thing I have, there's always a substitution. You have a jug of milk, a bag of sand, a bag of potting mix for something in the garden. A heavy item of some sort can be an easy substitution instead of having to have the specific equipment that I have. What I want to first show you is we're going to be working in intervals. A simple way, like I said before, you could use a wall clock, a stopwatch. You can use an app on your phone. I'm actually using an app that I just pulled up on the internet. Right here, a simple timer. It'll have a beep. We're going to be working for 30 seconds. So all of these different movements, we're not trying to do a specific rep count. And just because we're going for the 30 seconds doesn't mean you have to work that entire time. Again, if you're a little more deconditioned, not used to this type of exercise, you might go for 10 seconds and need to rest for 5 or 10, and then you'll be able to finish for the last 10 seconds of the interval. After the 30 seconds of work, we'll have 30 seconds of rest. I'll explain the next movement. We'll get right into it. We're gonna go one time of each of these 11 movements. We'll stop, we'll do a brief cool down, and if you feel up to it, you could just restart the video at the point where I start the exercises and go through as many times as you like, okay? The first thing that we're gonna do before I start this timer is I'm gonna demonstrate our first movement. We're gonna do a goblet squat. Just get this out of the way. We have our kettlebell right here. This is a weighted squat. The goblet position refers to the weight being at the chest, off right in front. You'll set your feet just like you did for the body weight squat. Sit down as low as you feel comfortable. Stand back up. Simple as that. Again, if you're not ready to hold weight, it could just be a body weight variation. That is totally fine. Now, I'm gonna get the timer started, and we're gonna start our first 30 seconds of work. Let's get to it. Here we go. Round 1, goblet squat. Good, consistent movement. We're not in a hurry. We're sitting as low as you feel comfortable. If you need a chair behind you, that's totally fine. And again, you don't need to use weight. And I'll show you from the side again here. Down nice and low, and up. And that is time. We'll rest. Catch your breath. Our next movement, we're gonna use an elastic band. This one has handles, yours doesn't have to. We're gonna do a banded pull apart. We still have about 15 seconds. Catch your breath. I'm gonna try to catch mine in through the nose, out through the mouth. Palms will be up, arms will be long, long neck, jaw relaxed, and pull the band to the chest, shoulders back and down. We'll just continuously move just like this. Not letting the shoulders rise up, the shoulders roll forward, pulling open that chest from the side so you can see. Nice consistent movement, not in a hurry. The movement quality is always more important than how much you're doing. Good. Now, we're going to the floor. This one's a little scary for some people, but we're gonna do a push-up. I'm gonna show you several different varieties here. As we go down to the floor, it can simply be you're on the ground, just getting yourself back up to your knees. We can do kneeling push-ups, or we can go all the way from the feet or any sort of variation in between. If you can do 3 or 4 good push-ups in this 30 seconds, great. If you can go the full 30, awesome. Let's get to it. Down under control, back up. Down slow, control the movement, legs are stiff. We're not wobbling around through the torso. And we'll just keep going here for the 30 seconds. Doing a great job. Just make sure you're moving. Rest as you need to. Oh, good. Now, staying on the ground, we're gonna do a core exercise. A couple different options here. You'll be lying down flat on your back. This is called a V-up. The full movement, fully extended, crunch in, tap your heels. This could be, maybe, we just tap the knees. We could go one leg at a time. A lot of different options here. Still we're resting, we're about ready to go. The full V-up, low back crunch to the floor, tap the heels, and we extend flat to the ground, tap, and back. Moving at a consistent pace. Again, not in a hurry, rest as you need to. Extend out, crunch in. Good. And we're back up to our feet. Make sure you have a clear space. We're doing a reverse lunge. Feet will start together. You will step back. Make sure you're not stepping right in front of the other foot. You're not going to be very stable. Wide base, bend the knees, come back together. The other side will then go back, come back together. Hands can be to the side. You can pattern like you're running, whatever you're more comfortable with. We'll just go back and forth here. I'll show you from the side as we go. Here we go. Weight stays heavy on the front side, but we are letting both legs bend. Down, back up. Consistently moving side to side. I want to be able to look at you here, so we'll finish out going forward, under control. About 5 seconds left. Here we go. There we are. Good. Next exercise. You can use the same band as you want to as you did for the banded pull apart. Just using a different one. We're going to do a banded bent over row. The band is flat. Step on the band. So we have these nice bunny loops on each side. Grab onto the loops. Back is flat. Pull the band to you and back out. From the side, I'll show you here. Again, on your bands. Grab on. Here we go. Back flat, legs straight, pull back to you, reach out. If this is too challenging, all that you have to do, bring the feet a little closer together, lengthen out those bunny ears a little bit, makes a big difference. Shoulders back and down, control your breathing, good posture, flat back. Keep moving. Good job. Catch your breath. Make sure your space is clear. Now, we're gonna go to a suitcase march. Similar to what we did in the warm-up with the cross crawl, we're gonna introduce a little bit of weight. We're working in 30-second intervals. We're gonna want the weight in both hands. So we'll do the first 15 seconds with the weight in one hand, the last 15 with the weight in the other. You can use the same weight you did for your squat. Shoulders back, good posture, slow and controlled. The offhand can be out to the side. It can be on the hip. Whatever you're comfortable with. Trying to have that foot be silent on contact. We're not in a hurry. And we're about halfway. Let's switch your hands. Up. Find your balance. Big deep breaths. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Continue to work. Good. And we're resting. Move the weight over. Now, we're gonna do a bicep curl. We have 2 dumbbells right here. You can do this together. We're gonna do them at the same time. If you don't have weights, find something that's weighted in your house. Jug of milk, whatever's gonna work. You could use the bands from your pull apart, from the banded row. Anything works here. Picking the weight up, catching your breath, feet settled. We're gonna go here, a couple seconds. And curl to the shoulders, back down. Curl to the shoulders, back down. We don't want the shoulders to be rolling forward as we're doing this. We also don't want to be flinging the weights back, focusing on good movement, control the weight, making sure we're moving effectively, training the muscles that we want to train. Control the breath, big squeeze at the top, big stretch at the bottom. Just continuing to move. And we're resting. Set the weights back down. Good, shake out those arms. Let yourself rest. We're gonna come to the ground. We're gonna do a prone limb lift. This is from a push-up position. The full movement, opposite arm, opposite leg will leave the ground and return together. You'll switch and together. A regression for this would be bird dog. Opposite arm, opposite leg, extend, together, extend, together. Moving under control as we do this, okay? We're going, set up, opposite arm, opposite leg. We are not in a hurry. Focusing on good quality movement. And if you lose your balance, that's okay. Just reset. As you go, try not to let those hips rise. Stay in that good stable position. And we're resting. Very good. Now, staying on the ground, we're gonna finish up these last 2 on the ground as well. We're gonna finish up glute bridge. Lying flat on your back, knees bent. I like to pick my toes up off the ground, push the heels into the floor, hands planted, drive the hips high, return back to the ground, okay? Wait for that timer to get us going here in just a few seconds. Moving continuously, rest as you need to. Here we go, driving up, control back down, touch, right back up. If you're feeling good and stable, you're welcome to put the hands back up to the ceiling, but if you feel like you start to extend through the lower back, plant down back to the floor, okay? Push through the heels, squeezing that butt, continue to move. Good. Okay, we're gonna rest. We have one more exercise. We're gonna do a side plank. Like we did in the suitcase march, we had the weight in one hand for 15, the weight in the other for 15. The idea stays the same. The full movement, legs straight, stacked, hips high. If you need to, you can bend the knees, holding a similar position just like this. Okay? In a couple seconds here, we'll get going. And we are up, big deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, pushing that forearm into the floor. Very good. 5 more seconds here. And we're gonna rest, we're gonna turn it over really quick, get to the other side, hips high, big deep breaths, We're gonna finish out here, another 10 seconds. Almost there. And 3, 2, 1, rest. And we're done. Now, at this point, if you're done with your exercise session for the day, great, we'll start cooling down. If you'd like to, go back to where we started. Go back through the session again, focusing on moving well. If that first round felt a little easy on some of the movements, try more weight, try a heavier band resistance, try to do more reps in the 30 seconds. If you felt some of those movements were too challenging, make them easier. Remove the weight, reduce the tension, slow down your pace. Make sure you're moving well. The last thing we're gonna do is going through that cool down. We're gonna reverse basically what we did in the warm up. Let's go ahead and interlock behind the back. Pull the posture open. Connect with your breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Trying to extend the exhale as long as you can. Just gently rocking back and forth. Totally normal to be breathing faster. We're not trying to restrict anything. Just controlling this the best you can. Dropping the chin, looking up, and release the arms. Now, feet set underneath the hips. We're just gonna slowly go down the legs. Reach down as far as you can. If you can grab onto the toes, great. If not, go as far as you can. Take some big deep breaths here. Inhale and rise. Exhale, sink to the floor. Big deep breaths. Very good. Slowly come back up tall. We're just gonna finish with a little rotation. Nice and easy back and forth. Finishing up so we have a good rest of your day. If you're doing this at the end of the day, hopefully you'll have a good night's sleep. Or maybe it's a recharge in the middle of the day. You can do this at any point. Shouldn't take too long. Go a couple more times. Oh, good. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. There'll be more of these videos to come, but hopefully this gets you all a good start. Let's keep working. Let's keep getting stronger. Thank you again.